The St. Louis Rams have released their 7th-round draft pick, Michael Sam, defensive end out of Missouri, who made headlines as being the first openly gay NFL prospect in football history, and they've released him. He did not make the 53-man active roster. He did not make the practice squad, and as of right now, with the time that I'm shooting this video on Labor Day, September 1st, he has not been signed by any other team. So the question now is, where does he go from here? Does he have a future in the NFL? And that's really what I'm going to address in this video. I'm just going to be talking about him as a ball player, not the extra stuff, off the field and whatever. But when I look at him as a ball player, I look at him as a one-dimensional defensive end that only fits a 4-3 scheme. He doesn't fit the 3-4 scheme that 15 other NFL teams run. So right off the bat, 15 out of the 32 teams can't use his services. So he's already limited in the amount of teams that he can possibly help going forward. And, in the 3-4 defense, the players on the front seven, they have to do a multitude of things. They have to rush the passer. They have to be stout against the run. They have to drop back in coverage, and they have to jar the football loose in an open field situation against a guy like Calvin Johnson or Rob Gronkowski or some star athlete like Jimmy Graham. And I don't think Sam would fit in this scheme. He would get exposed. His foot speed is average at best. And, 3-4 defense would expose a lot of his weaknesses. And furthermore, even in a 4-3 defense, the one thing that he does well, which is rush the passer, I don't know if he can consistently get it done at the NFL level because he's just too undersized. He's 6'2" and 255 about, and we know defensive ends going upwards of 280, 290. And they're about 6'5", 6'6", some of them are even taller than that. So he's a very small player for NFL standards. So I question whether or not he could consistently get it done game to game. Now, he had a good preseason, but when the real bullets start flying, I wonder how good he would actually be. And then when I think about all the 4-3 schemes that are out there with the Giants or the Lions or the Bears or some teams like that, how many of them would need a backup defensive end that only does one thing well? And we don't even know if that one thing that he does well even translates to bigger, stronger, faster, more talented competition that you'd face in the NFL. So I think, gang, in the grand scheme of things, he was a great college football player that doesn't translate in the NFL. And when I think about other players, other defensive ends that I've watched in college football history, the name that really comes to mind is Corey Moore from the Virginia Tech Hokies back in the late 90s. He was one hell of a defensive player in college. And like Michael Sam, he was a defensive player of the year. That was in the Big East, back when the Big East was pretty good. They had the Miami Hurricanes, and they had Syracuse, and of course Virginia Tech. So that was a power conference. West Virginia was in it too. So a lot of great teams that were in that conference, and he won twice Conference Player of the Year in the Big East. And he was incredible. When I think about, I remember plays of Corey Moore that just blew my mind. He was, by the time the left tackle got his hands up to protect his quarterback, Corey Moore was already in the backfield, and the quarterback was taking chunks of dirt out of his helmet because he'd been rocked by Corey Moore already. That's how fast he was. If you don't remember watching Corey Moore, and Moore was even smaller than Michael Sam. I'd say probably faster, but he was even smaller. And eventually, I guess to make a long story short, even though Corey Moore was such a stud on defense in college, he goes to the NFL. He was a third-round pick. He played 2 years and he had 1 sack in his whole career. 2 seasons, 1 sack. And it just didn't work out. He's just too small, and he didn't translate as a linebacker, as a safety, anything else. And that was it. So I think that's kind of where Michael Sam is headed. He might have a career in the CFL, but as far as NFL potential, I just don't see it. And I guess in closing, I would say this though. I'm just happy he got a chance. I'm happy the whole, being openly gay. I'm just happy it didn't shut the door in his face and he was not allowed to pursue his dream. He had his opportunity to show what he's got, and he just didn't make the cut. That I could live with. So, that's basically all I've got to say about Michael Sam. I want to get your comments below. I'm really interested to see what you guys think, because this is not this kind of a gray area. Some people think he's going to be good, some people don't. I don't think he has an NFL future, but that's just me. I would like to hear or read the comments below what you guys got to say. So that's all I've got to say about Michael Sam. It's Football Rob signing off.